My name's Dylan. I'm with the Green Party of Allegheny County.
Woo!
All right. What we Greens realized a long time ago is that the system is rigged.
Right. Yep.
Not just the political system, but the social and economic systems. You see, every 4 years, we go into the voting booths, convinced by the Democrats and Republicans that we are choosing between life and death.
What's up?
And yet they suppress the vote from those who might not vote the way the ruling class likes.
Right.
And when the polls close, like a casket on the working class, we come to find out that the only thing that we actually voted for was the color of our graves. There is no working class party in Washington. There is one ruling class party split into two. It is two wings of the same capitalist vulture.
Yes.
As Lenin said, the so-called bipartisan system in America is one of the most powerful means of preventing the rise of an independent working class. We must be independent of the two-party system and build a real working class party to fight the class war.
Yes.
Not just at the ballot box, but in the streets too. Because even if the Greens had won all of our races, we would still need a mass working class movement to demand the changes we deserve. There is not a single point in American history where the capitalists in Washington have ever passed major progressive legislation without the threat of a working class movement. The New Deal did not come out of the kindness of the Democrats' hearts. It came out of genuine fear of socialist and communist working class movements rising up and taking power. Union rights in my native West Virginia similarly did not come from the kindness of Democrats' hearts, but rather from 10,000 coal miners marching on Blair Mountain armed to the teeth and fighting the capitalist class head on.
Yeah.
The civil rights movement did not win by just running folks for office. It won through sit-ins, mass demonstrations, boycotts, and genuine threats from militant, socialist, and communist working class movements that said that they were going to get their rights one way or another.
Yep.
And we do need folks running for office. We need elected friends who aren't afraid to rot the mechanics of the empire from the inside out. And even if we don't or can't win, that's fine. Some PSL comrades know I like to quote historical figures. So to quote Karl Marx, even when there is no prospect whatsoever of their being elected, the working class must put up their own candidates in order to preserve their independence, to count their forces, and to bring to the public their revolutionary attitude and party standpoint. In this connection, they must not allow themselves to be seduced by arguments of the Democrats, as for example that by doing so they are splitting the Democratic Party and making it possible for reactionaries to win. The ultimate intention of all such phrases is to dupe the proletariat. The advance that the proletariat party is bound to make by such independent action is indefinitely more important than the disadvantage that might be incurred by the presence of a few reactionaries in the representative body. What is he saying there? He's saying we don't care about the so-called vote splitting, even if such a thing existed, and it doesn't. We don't care. The working class and the ruling class have nothing in common. So no, we will not get behind your capitalist candidate, no matter what letter is beside their name. And we will especially not get behind a Democratic Party who promises to restore democracy to this nation, but at the same time sues to remove Greens from ballots across the country, who for the past 4 years and during the entire Bush administration blamed Greens for their failures of their uninspiring imperialist candidates, who rigged their own primaries twice to stop a measly social democrat from ever entering the Oval Office. What happened to count every vote? We will not play games with them. We are not them. We are not represented by the Joe Bidens, the Nancy Pelosi's, and the Bill Pedutos of the world.
Yeah.
They represent the ruling class. They represent capital. We represent the people, and we will not rest until all power is in the hands of the people.
Yeah, Dylan!